everybody. My name is Sarah Snell Cook, and I am the host here at the Credit Union Connection. I have my wonderful friend here today, Zach Christensen. Welcome.
Well, hello. How are you?
Great. And Zach is with Mitchell Stankovic and Associates, as well as the executive director of CU Pride, which is having its fifth anniversary this year. Congrats.
Woohoo!
I need
Can't
to
believe it.
do the golf clap in the background or
Yeah, yeah.
something.
Or snaps. Yeah, yeah.
Well, Zach, talk a little bit more about yourself and the groups.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, a little bit about me. I forget, I'm with you, so you know just about everything about me since I've been back in the industry. But the actual kind of day job that I really have is marketing director and consultant with Mitchell Stankovic and Associates, and been back kind of in that role since 2018, really, and has been a bit of an evolution and seeing things. And of course, if you don't know, I get to work side by side with the amazing and comparable Susan Mitchell, who not only a powerhouse, just has done so much for the industry that you can't help but be inspired. And I remember sitting in 2018 going, Am I going to be able to come up with a global women's leadership network? And Brandy's doing Y Cup, and there's all these things happening. I'm like, what is it? What is it? And so very, very happy and lucky because during one of our undergrounds, which is another huge passion of mine, as it is for you too, I know, because it's the one place where we actually get up there and talk the real shit, right?
Yes,
On
very real.
stage. And the best part is that we're actually getting like the bigger CEOs and like some of these people who have kind of always kind of walked a line around what they said publicly. They're now getting up there and doing it, and I'm so excited to see this. And I
I
don't.
heard Bill Cheney cuss.
Yes,
Never
yes,
thought
right?
that would happen.
Exactly. And maybe you've noticed this too, Sarah, but I have also seen just in other conferences that there has been more of a shift to not only the way that like moderators kind of approach things, but the speakers are just getting a little bit more real
Mm.
in terms of and not keeping it so high level. But at the underground, that was where things really kicked off, and Linda Bodie said some pretty strong words to the industry about not having the opportunity for people to be authentic in this industry around being gay or LGBTQ. Um, and as many of you know, Sue Mitchell is really good at seeing a gap and filling it. And that was kind of that moment where the co-founders kind of slowly started getting together over a year and a half. And finally, we had this opportunity. And Sue said, "Of course, we'll use the underground. We'll use our voice and our influence to bring people together." And so that was in February of 2020, and then June of 2020. Through all of the craziness that was happening there, we made it happen. We kicked it off. We got stuff done, and now 5 years later, we're 60 plus organizations, almost 100 individuals that are actual members, probably up to 2,000 regular credit union professionals every year who are engaging. And, we have a reach. So our through our organizations, the information that we send and the education that we share, it reaches about 38,000 credit union professionals, which
Hmm.
is just incredible for 5 years.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. And I was at I wasn't at the first meeting, but at that meeting
The
where
first,
Linda spoke
yeah, the
up. Yes.
meetup. That was the start. That picture has been shown a lot this year. So, yep, yep.
Yeah, she's so quiet, but so loud at the same time,
Who
right?
are we talking about?
I was talking about Linda.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Now, Sue, I guess she could be quiet if she wanted.
Well, I was thinking you were talking about you.
Oh
So,
God, I'm just noisy. I'm just noise.
oh goodness.
So, one of the things I think is really cool about the meetings is that you all start with the tenants every single time. And I do think that's so important. I want to know why you guys do it and think it's important. And then maybe we can go into what those tenants actually are.
Yeah, these were put together by the co-founders after that first meetup, right? And we gathered information. It was kind of ended up being this mini focus group of just like why and how and who and asking every question that we could ask of those 37 people that walked through that room. But they really have guided everything. I mean, as a matter of fact, they have been the framework of our strategic planning every year, that we are hitting on every single one of those pieces. And they really have kind of now, not only just tenants, but they are mission, and they're also rules of engagement. Um, we we have a lot of really great conversations. Sometimes they're really tough conversations in our CU Pride events. But that only happens because people follow and remember and know these tenets. And so I think it's just important. I probably others could recite them better than I could from memory, but it really is important just to as we go through it, just to remember. And there's always these keywords that get me every time, so that I know it's like, okay, this is why we're here, and this is what we're doing. What we're doing. You're gonna
Hmm.
make me say them, aren't you?
I am going to make you say them. Go for
Well,
it.
that's awesome. So and it is, and luckily with you, it's always a safe space. But our tenets are that CU Pride exists to promote the visibility and voice of the LGBTQ plus individuals in the credit union industry. We are here to provide a safe but brave place for communion and discussion, to encourage action by our allies and social change agents, and to foster inclusivity and consciousness through programs, education, and networking. And we've only updated it once, and it was an update in the second year. I don't even remember what it was, but it was the third one about our allies, and we changed it to encourage action because we wanted it to be actionable. Um,
Hmm.
but I always thought it was interesting too over the past couple of years that other than inclusivity, we don't use DEI, we don't use diversity or equity, but every single one of those pieces follows
Right.
and leads into each one of those. So,
Yeah. That's interesting. It goes kind of well into my next question, though, which like difficult discussions.
yeah.
Um, the current administration, I'm going to say, has shifted the focus off DEI, just put it that way. How has that affected Sea Pride and its members?
That has been always a great question, but the Mitchell Stankovic side of us as consultants is we have to anticipate and prepare. And so while we're
Hmm.
looking at everything just from an industry perspective, we see how each one of those things may affect the different initiatives that we're doing, whether it be the underground or CU Pride or CUS now. And so this was back in 2023, the end of 2023, and we saw and felt the shift. Everybody was kind of starting to see it, but we knew it wasn't, the pendulum was swinging the other way.
Hmm.
Um, and so from our perspective, we knew that we were going to have to start having a different conversation around it. Um, and it wasn't that it was hard because again, I said those tenants, we don't use the acronym DEI. Um, just a quick fast forward in 2024, I went through our website just to see where things were because I don't want CU Pride to be a bullhorn for anybody at a level of power to come looking at credit unions for any reason, right? So we had one mention of diversity, equity, and inclusion on our website.
Hmm.
So it was the way that we have always spoken about this, even though DEI was very, very much at our core, has always been very strategic,
Hmm.
so that people truly understand what we were trying to do with the work. And so in 2024, our theme was DEI redefined. And we
Hmm.
talked about it as discipline, engagement, and investment. And understanding that the initiatives and the work that you're doing required all three of those things as well. And
Hmm.
then this year, before November, before the administration was confirmed, um, we already had a plan in place for that, and that
Hmm.
was to elevate the mosaic. And it really came from a conversation internally here about, there is such this shift has created such an interesting mindset amongst people that um, really we just needed to go back to the fact that we used to kind of, for the most part, celebrate each other's differences. Like it wasn't something that we called out so frequently as we do now. And so that's why the mosaic came to mind was the mosaic is the most haphazard, messy thing if you're looking at it up close, but when you step back, it's absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And every piece is different in so many ways and forms. And so we wanted to push it that way. And again, we say it time and time again. Two things. First, position yourself to be effective. What does CU Pride want to do? How do we want to accomplish it? Where do we need to go? And so if that means we got to change the words that we use, change the words that you use, because in the end, words when it comes to this stuff doesn't matter. It's about the work. So if the work's still being done, it doesn't matter, We
Um,
can call it, poop and scooping. I don't know, and whatever you got. We don't have to make this, we don't have to be married to vernacular
mhm.
ever. And
Yeah.
and I don't know about you, but I get to the point where I want to find different ways to call things because I get so sick of hearing the same word over and over and over again, and it loses its meaning to me. So I would rather focus on the work and really see what that is. And so our work has continued to grow and blossom. And so we're really seeing this as this really great, amazing organizational evolution of employee engagement, employee experience, and cultural shift.
Mhm.
This is a moment in time where organizations should really take a look and make that shift in their culture that can be future proofed for any of this stuff that might be coming down the line.
Mhm. And it's interesting what you just said because I was going to ask and I didn't know quite how to ask. What what nothing nothing uncomfortable, I don't think. But when you're talking about culture shift, it is very difficult to measure that. Like, to show results. And so what have been the results, if you will?
Yeah, I think I actually don't think it's really that hard. You have to kind of know where you're starting though.
Sure.
You have to be real with yourself, right? Because like I said, it's really about employee engagement, which I think we've talked about employee experience, but that's been kind of a newer concept in this realm. And so engagement kind of started, 15, 18 years ago with just the survey, right? Employee engagement survey. And how do you
Mm,
like us? And do you like to come to work, right? And it was great because it did. It gave you measure, all of those things. Now the employee experience is how do they feel when they show up and walk through that door? And do they love you?
mm,
And if they love you, then they'll stay. And if they stay, then they're going to bring others with you. And when they stay, they're going to outperform others who don't, or other organizations who don't have that same culture. So I don't think that finding the measures or the metrics is going to be that difficult, because you'll see it, from bottom line to productivity to retention, and to your hiring needs and talent
mm.
acquisition. Because if you're putting out less and less job postings, you're probably doing the right thing.
Yeah, yeah, because I forget what the number is, but there is a huge percentage of disengaged people at work.
Mhm.
And a lot of it is because they don't feel seen and heard, whether they're LGBTQ or African American or what have you. Um,
And
it,
look at that term disengaged too, and understand, that's another, square peg in a round hole, because somebody may look disengaged to you, but their whole reason for being there may be to walk through that door, do their job. They may do it at level and or a little bit above and beyond, whatever it may be, and then walk out that door so that they have that money coming in. That
mm,
might be their sole purpose to be there. That's okay. That's their experience that they're choosing that they want, right? So be careful. Don't compare that person to I mean, a Jessica Jameson at Schools First, who is just above and beyond one of the most amazing human beings and just does great things, right? But that it's they're two different people, and you have to figure out how to provide that experience for others and allow that to happen in a space where you can maintain and grow and do all the things that you want to do, but you also have the people who are just are there and they want to do the work. So let them do the work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and that's hard for me to swallow, honestly. You don't want to be better than you were yesterday. You don't want to compete with so and so. You don't want to, yeah.
I
It's
always bring
true.
it back. I gave this. I had a conversation with somebody. I worked as a supervisor for part-time people in retail. Okay, um, making 58 cents above minimum wage at the time. So this is not okay. I'm not going to get them to do much more than they're asked of while they're there. But
Mm,
the employee experience that I found was why do you come through those doors? Okay. So some were to earn that paycheck. Some were they wanted to do certain things while they were there. Some wanted to have more of a social aspect because they were older or aging and they were home alone. And so knowing that and understanding that and being able to very easily, without disrupting or breaking policy, give that to them
mm.
allowed me to have a retention of a part-time staff of like 98% in 1 year.
That's
So
unreachable.
I know, but it's not as difficult as it sounds or it looks. And I know as the organizations grow and you have, hundreds or thousands of employees, you're like, how do I do this? Well, then that's when you rely on your leadership team. And your
Sure.
leadership team should be on that same page as well.
Right, right, absolutely. Um, so we got a little bit off topic.
I know. I'm sorry.
It was a
I
great
get so
side.
well, it's we do so much more work than just one thing, right?
Sure.
So I'm passionate about it all.
We need more people like you. And so like when you're talking, I guess it could be uh, we're talking initially about CU Pride,
Yep.
and you talked a little bit about the organizations that are involved, the people that are involved. But can you speak as a whole to the response to the Korean community?
Do you want that for CU Pride specific?
For now, sure, we'll
Okay.
start
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Honestly, the response has been fantastic.
there.
It still kind of blows me away a little bit that I will still 5 years later walk into a room and somebody says, "Oh my God, I didn't even know this existed," and I went,
Mhm.
like, what are we not doing right? Um, but that's okay because that was a person that's excited about it, right? So I think from the standpoint, there's not ever really been vocalization about anything if someone had something to say. Other than that, our pioneer allies who have doubled down with multi-year commitments, extending beyond this administration even that tells you that they believe that this is something that is needed and warranted. And I continue to get credit unions in Texas and Florida and these
Mhm.
places where they are struggling to find that sort of thing for their employees, and we're able to do that. And it's
Mhm.
as simple as going to one of our BGHHs, our networking events. I will say it till I'm blue in the face. It's our best event. People love it. And we have created more friendships. I wouldn't be surprised if we have created some sort of pathway for people to start getting married here in the next 3 or 4 years, based upon meeting.
Okay.
Joking. I'm telling you, these people, these amazing human beings, they love it and they embrace being able to sit into a room and just ask questions and learn from each other. It's been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, because I mean, we have all these letters together, the alphabet soup. Um, but even well, within that, there are a lot of different types of people too.
Yep.
Not just because of their letter, but also just, one's from Texas, one's from Connecticut, whatever it is.
Yep.
And having that kind of diversity, I feel like, and not to use the the word that's
It's all
overused,
right.
but
Yeah.
um, is important, especially for credit unions. Would you agree? And
Oh, yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that has been a key topic of what we talk about because when we talk about intersectionality, and just like you said, I am not just what you see right here on the screen, right? I am so many other things that's happening in the background that you don't know about me. But are the LGBTQ plus intersectionality truly intersects with everyone? So
Mhm.
there is no demographic, there is no ethnicity, there is no age, there is no gender, there's nothing that we don't intersect with, that somebody of our community is not also part of that. And so recognizing that and being able to be in a room and see it. And again, we do know labels in our events. We require them not to be used. If you so choose to, wonderful. And we celebrate that. But the whole point of this is that you're here because you're part of a community, and a
Mm.
community doesn't close its borders. And even better, a community should be as diverse as the community intersects with. So we should have all of that. And it showcases how well that works together. It truly is that mosaic that we were talking about earlier.
Hmm. And it's representative of your membership too.
Yep, yep. Of the entire US, right?
Yes,
Globe.
right. Absolutely. So this past month, or we're in June now. It's probably going to come out till July, but we're in June now, and it's Pride Month. And I know you guys every year have done some special events. What's been going on this month?
Yeah, we have got a pretty good cadence now, which helps me in planning. So we have our typical two events, which is our networking event and then our educational event, the Allies into Action. Always with a special theme around what we're doing for the year, which of course was Elevate the Mosaic. Then we have two what we call CU Pride Plus, and so they're like little mini bite-size events where we just want to introduce something or share something quickly. It doesn't require a full panel. Um, this last one we had with Megan Snyder from Unitas
Mm,
was was amazing, and I told you about changing that vernacular. Sometimes I want to take a look, and allyship has always been a bedrock of CU Pride. Well, I also think that allyship has been kind of stagnant in terms of how people see it and how people act on it.
mhm,
And so I think it's time, let's reinvigorate it. And so we did. We had a conversation. I've been just looking at things and kind of researching and feeling, right? I like to feel it and see it. And so we're moving from allies to catalysts
mhm,
and sparking change and really, really being visible in that. Again, it's not about getting the sticker or the cookie as an ally, but it is important that people see you doing it so that they can also have that boldness and courage to do it themselves. Then we had our see 2021 fifth CU Pride Leadership Conference.
mhm,
And it gets better and better every year. We sat around and after listening to the panels that we recorded, this was the highest level in terms of just thought provoking thought process from these speakers, bringing this all together. And we did it at a very, all of it intersects with LGBTQ, but it is for everybody because we're talking about leadership, impact, and experience.
mhm.
And it is where I truly see credit unions going and being the most relevant. It's amazing. So y'all have to check it out. It'll be on our website. As a matter of fact, it just finished all of the finalization of everything, so it'll be out today, which is going to be way further out when you post this. And then finally, it's our the event that started our all. It's our virtual celebration, which
Mm,
is on it'll have happened on the 27th. And this is we're just going to have a blast. That's all we're going to do. There's going to be a little bit of announcements. We always try to sprinkle a tiny bit of education, but the education is going to be around us having fun. And so I want people to show up. I want people ready to dance and sing and have and wear whatever they want. I want this to be a little mini party because we are required to um, take in so much right now that doesn't necessarily allow us to do that at work, that I think this is our moment in time to do that.
Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to let you have the final thought here. What are you going to leave our audience with?
I would, number one, if you are not a part of Sea Pride, come be a part of it. The membership at organizational level is minimal, and we do and offer so much to your organization just to come in that you'll be blown away. Number two, if you haven't even engaged with us, do it and join one of our happy hours. It's the BJHH. It's the first Friday of every month, unless there's a holiday. We have the schedule on our website. Just stop in and check it out, and don't leave before the breakout sessions, because if you leave before the breakout sessions, you're going to lose any sort of effectiveness about it. And then finally, I just want you to remember that again, it's not about the words, it's about the work. And as long as you're doing the work, don't listen to the clamorers and the pot banging and the bells ringing and the alarms going off. Do the work. Because the work is what's going to get us there. The work is what's going to create an industry that people want to work in, create a financial system that people want to be a part of. As long as we're doing the work, that's all that matters.
Yes. Get shit done, right?
Yes, hashtag GSD.